Stephanie VanWagoner, welcome to the Sport Profile.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm super excited for this. I feel like we just had a podcast based on our banter during this pregame, but we actually have an episode to do.
Yeah. Yep. That was good banter. That was good banter.
It's quality banter.
It really was.
What makes a good banter to you?
I think just easy conversation, humor.
Yeah. Okay.
Shared
Dark
views.
humor,
Dark humor.
light humor.
Dark humor. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that. I mean,
Absolutely.
I think banter, there's a good recipe for it.
Mhm.
I feel like banter's like cooking.
Mhm.
You can have too much of it, you can have too little of it, but it'll still be kind of good. It's not like baking because it's not an exact science. Baking's an actual science, right? Like,
Yeah.
you with me on that?
Yeah.
Or am I just talking out of my ass?
No, I'm with you. I mean, sometimes like people go and mess with the recipe,
Completely agree.
and
Completely.
that's uncalled for. You know what I mean?
Right. I
It's uncalled
do.
for. Yep.
I do. And oftentimes if you put too much of something in, it fucks it up.
Like
You can't have
all these flavors and you choose to be salty, right?
absolutely not the best. Right. Not the best type of flavor to be. Right amount, it makes it good.
Yep.
But shit, are we doing a cooking podcast?
I mean, we can. I'm not good at it, but we can.
Me neither. I mean, I like it, but something I do know you're good at is photography, though. You have taken photos for many of the Detroit professional teams. You've taken photos for the University of Michigan. And I really loved how you said once before, like, in your story, how you and your boyfriend just went to a game and you were inspired to make a hype video.
Mhm.
And then members of the team, the Michigan men's basketball team, I believe it was,
Yes.
actually reached out to you. Did you have any intention of taking photos that day, or did you just go there just to have fun?
No, I went to have fun, but then, like when we were third row and I was like, oh, this is kind of sick. Like I've never been this close at a basketball game before.
Sure.
Like, and I was newer to like the whole basketball world. It was not a sport that I necessarily followed, but
Right.
I was like, well, I'm here. I have a new iPhone. Let's see what the video can do. So I created this whole hype video full of all these clips of like the game and stuff. And it was actually a really good game. So
Yeah.
that was nice.
Sure.
But yeah, I created this whole thing and I posted it on YouTube and Instagram. And yeah, some of the players reached out and I was like, I'm onto something here. I'm onto something. Like if I was impressed by it, then and they were impressed by it, I was like, maybe I've got something here.
Did you ever care of what happened to that video, though?
I didn't care. I just wanted to like try it out.
Sure.
And I just wanted to see if it got any sort of traction. I mean, like if other people thought it was cool, I thought it was cool. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just wanted to kind of like put it out into the universe, and some people picked it up, like the players, and I
Sure.
was like, okay, so I'm not that bad.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, if somebody sees it, that kind of leads me to, and I'm sure we'll get into this, throughout, but something I love to do is like dispel misconceptions.
Mhm.
And I feel like one massive one is that you need the most expensive kind of gear to make a good shot. So kind of like a two-parter. One is, where do you stand on that? And the second is, do you believe the gear makes the photo or the person makes the photo?
So I started off my whole photography journey with a Canon Rebel like T5 or T6. Like it was legitimately a $398 kit from I think Sam's Club, and it came, a basic camera body, and then 2 lenses with, high apertures and all this other stuff. Like, so that's what I started on, and I was still taking great photos with that camera. I don't think it's your equipment. I think it's the person.
Okay.
How in depth you want to go with learning that camera. It depends on what you shoot. Do you shoot in manual, automatic,
Yeah.
things like that. But, it's all about learning the settings and learning lighting, and, every scenario is different. So you don't need the best equipment in order to get started or to get your profession up and running. And
Right.
yes, having good equipment helps. Like that's super helpful, but I think it's the person. It's all about how
Interesting.
you view things. I think it's all about how you see things. You know, I- in the equipment now is better in like low light and things like that, but
Sure.
you know, I really think it's the person when it comes
Yeah.
to that. Like it's cool to have all the great latest and greatest, but like if
Sure.
you don't know how to use it,
Doesn't even matter.
it doesn't matter.
It's a
So it depends on it solely depends on the person.
yeah, I kind of lean that way as well personally. Just I mean, obviously I'm not a professional photographer like you, but I always felt like you can do so much with what you have
Mhm.
that it almost doesn't matter what you exactly have, right?
Exactly.
You can still make a great product from it.
Mhm.
And people are doing these awesome things on an iPhone. And it's like
Well,
and like
right.
people don't even believe that it came from an iPhone,
Mhm.
or any cell phone for that matter.
Right. Like
Um,
I had a like for example, I gosh, this was back in like 2013, 2014. I don't know. It was
mm,
a long time ago. But I had drove to the west side of Michigan to go watch the sunset on Lake Michigan. If there's any listeners from Michigan, if you know, you know. The Lake Michigan sunsets are beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But
I'm
anyway,
sure.
I went out there and I was taking pictures with my cell phone, and one of the local credit unions asked me if they could use that photo that I took of the sunset as the
No kidding.
cover of like the pocket calendars for their members. And I was like,
That's
you're joking.
incredible.
Yeah. And then like I took a cell phone picture like when I was at the Keith Urban concert. I was front row and I submitted one of the pictures that I took where he's like his iconic like backbend like
Yeah,
guitar playing, and I submitted that photo and it was in his calendar. So like
unreal.
you can do amazing things with the iPhone just as long as you know
Yeah,
what you're doing.
for sure. That's incredible. Uh, you
Yeah.
know, being now that you're in, a bit of the college space working with Michigan, I don't know if you saw this. This is, during the college football season, but I think it was UCF. They would film player walkouts and like, end of game celebrations on the craziest devices. Like they got somebody with like a Ring camera. They
Oh,
did
I
it with
did
like a
see that. Yes,
3DS. You
I
did
did
see
see
that?
that. Yes.
One of them used like a Roomba vacuum. I'm like, a
Yep.
fucking Roomba? Are you kidding me?
Yep.
I'm like, what am I watching here?
Yep. Yeah.
What'd you think about that? I'm curious.
I think that's pretty cool. I think that was pretty incredible.
It was insanely
Yeah.
creative.
Yep.
There's
It's
certainly like
amazing
an
what you can do. And then, I know
right?
some of the like the social media guys with the Lions I think they were taking, I think it was the Cincinnati game that I had gone to photograph. They were using like an iPhone circa way back. I don't even know what generation it was, but they were taking photos and like video on that phone just to give that
Yeah.
like vintage throwback look. And it's pretty sick.
Isn't
It's
it?
cool what you can do with that kind of stuff.
I know. I've
Mhm.
I've always appreciated that. I'm also just like a very nostalgic person.
Same.
Um the other misconception kind of or that I want to ask you about is you started photographing a local community college, I believe. And
Mhm.
then you were doing high school sports because your friend was the coach. Obviously, now you do college, you do the NFL, MLB, and many professional sports. Is it a misconception that you need to be shooting like the highest level to, I guess, quote unquote, be good? Because I've personally heard that perception spewed out by many, many people. I personally don't agree with it, but I want to hear your perspective as well.
No, I don't agree with that at all because like I have photographed anywhere from like 6U hockey
Yeah,
to like I'm going to photograph junior hockey this evening. You know what I mean? So like
right.
you don't have to be at the professional NFL, NHL, MLB level to think like, "Oh, I made it. Like I can make, you can be photographing high school sports and be
Sure.
absolutely phenomenal at what you do, you know what I mean? So it's just you don't have to be at that level in order to be great. Like, you can photograph, like I said, 6U hockey and still kill it, you know?
Right. What is that perception? What do you think that perception does to, I guess, the industry as a whole?
Like, what do you mean? Like, it's just as far as like expand on
Like,
that further.
yeah, like, do you do you think it hurts the industry that that perception is perpetuated by other professionals?
I think so. You don't have to be at that professional level in order to like be good. I know I said that
Yeah.
before, but people think that they can reach out to somebody in the college at the college level or the professional level and be like, "Hey, can I get a credential?" kind of thing. And think that right out the gate they can just make it, right? Um, but it doesn't work that way. You kind of
Right.
have to climb a ladder, and I think no matter what level that you're at, you need to remain incredibly humble
Sure.
and grateful to be in the position that you're in. And that's huge. Absolutely huge.
Yeah.
Like, just because like you're photographing a high school team, basketball team doesn't make you any less than, somebody who's photographing the Detroit Tigers or the Detroit Pistons, you know what I mean? That doesn't make you any less. Like, you are physically putting yourself out there. You are trying, you're actively like doing what you need to do to be great someday. Like, and I don't think you need to look down on yourself just because you're not at that level yet.
Certainly. No, I completely agree with what you said, and I do wish more people, internalize that because I think it
Mhm.
honestly, I think it steers people away
Mhm.
um from mm, all kind of different sides of media.
Mhm.
Certainly see it on the journalism side.
Well, yeah, because people think that they just because like they don't make it, they don't make it to the NFL right away, or they don't make it to the MLB, NHL, NBA, they don't make it, to the pros right away. That it's like,
Right.
oh, like I'm terrible, I need to give up, kind of thing. But like
Just not
your
true.
no, it's not true at all. Like, your time will come. And if you put in the work, if you put in the hours, the networking, the education, the learning, like just the entire grind of making it to that next level, then
Yeah.
it's all going to pay off. Like,
Right.
I didn't feel dumb or anything reaching out to the local community college to be like, "Hey, can I come photograph some basketball games?" Like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but like, can I come, kind of thing? And
Yeah.
and then again, like shooting at the high school level too. I mean, same thing. Like, "Hey, can I come photograph your team?" kind of thing. And just went and did it to the best of my ability and started putting myself out there. And like that's all you can do. That's all
Sure.
you can do is start. You got to start somewhere.
I agree. When you were going through like your kind of transition into photography, you're the first to tell people you are self-taught.
Mhm.
You're very proud of that.
Yeah.
I've learned and I've realized. Why do you feel so much pride in saying that you are self-taught?
Because nothing was handed to me. I and I don't mean that disrespectfully, and I don't mean
Sure.
that disrespectfully, but it's just,
Absolutely.
if you go to school for sports photography, marketing, really any sort of profession, you're going to get placed into an internship or an externship or an apprenticeship or something. Like,
Yeah.
you're kind of guided along the way. And it's up to you whether you want to continue that or make it or, what have you. But it's just one of those things where knowing that I put in all of this time, that I put in all of these hours, um, all of this crying, this stress, this
Yeah.
chaos, this absolute roller coaster of a ride between life and, trying to make it in with photography. Like, it's crazy to just look back and be like, "Oh, I did all of this, and I did
You
all
did.
of by myself." Like, I put in the work, like, because doing it as a hobby, sometimes things only last so long. You're like, "I'm sick of this," kind of thing. But it's like,
Yeah.
photography has been one of those things that I'm just like, I head down, blinders on, and I just absolutely grind. Like, I spend hours on YouTube, Instagram,
Really.
TikTok, just looking for new things, or like if I gosh, don't know how to do something, or if I'm not familiar with something, or it's my weakness within photography, like I'm like, okay, you got to figure this out, so
Sure.
I have setups downstairs in my basement. I have off-camera flashes, like, cuz I'm not totally familiar with off-camera flash, but like I
Mhm.
need to get familiar with it. So I've,
Right.
took it upon myself to start learning and educating myself on that. So, but yeah, I mean, just knowing that I've put in all of this work and that it's paying off, like I'm super proud of that.
Right. I hear that in your answer, and it's honestly, like, it's so refreshing. It's refreshing to hear that, not to say that, like, I guess it's always refreshing to hear somebody who has, like, been self-taught, made it themselves, did the thing that so many people are, like, afraid to do, and it's like,
Mhm.
"Yo, you're an example for, like, for others to do that."
Yeah.
And, something I'm curious about, in addition to mentioning that, like, you are self-taught, you're very public about how there really was no plan, right? Help me understand what that means a little bit. Was there really no real plan, as you said, in, your Instagram video yesterday? Or was there, like, a small semblance of a plan? Or, like, how should we take that? What was it actually like?
No, I actually like I did not have a plan. Like I
No
really
semblance of a plan.
no. Nope, I
None
just
at all.
nope. When I quit my full-time job as a 911 dispatcher,
Right.
I mean, I had gigs and everything lined up, like
Sure.
weddings and things like that I had booked out, but I had no plans because I had always had a consistent job, a consistent
Right.
paycheck. I had that stability. And just I was tired of the 16-hour shifts. I was tired of the mandation, and I was
Yeah.
just like, I can't do this anymore. And after being told, like, photography won't work out or you can't pay the bills with photography, I just said, no, like, I need to do this. Like, now is the time, and I just need to quit, and I'll just figure it out. Like, I have to
Yeah.
figure it out. Cause once you get rid of that stability, it's you versus you. You know what I
Sure.
mean? And, I'm doing another reel in TikTok today that speaks on the bills and the responsibility don't stop.
Sure.
You have to figure it out. You have to figure out how to make money. You have to figure out how to hustle. You have to keep marketing and things like that. How do you put yourself out there? But yeah, it's just one of those things where I just figured it out along the way, and, sports just kind of fell into my lap
Sure.
photography wise. I have lived and breathed and ate sports since I was
Sure.
little. My brother played travel hockey, college hockey, baseball, golf. I played softball, cheer, soccer, volleyball. Like,
Amazing.
sports were our life, our
Yeah.
life. And, I mean, we were out back playing catch and downstairs playing roller hockey, street hockey. Life, I tell you, sports were life. But
Without question.
so I never thought to make the connection of sports and
Really?
photography.
That's
Yep,
so interesting.
I never did. And then all of a sudden, when I went to that basketball game, I'm like, the light bulb literally went off, and I'm like,
No kidding.
I'm gonna try this. And I tried it for a few months, and I just started networking, and everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. Oh, I
There's
completely agree with that.
time and place for literally everything.
I agree. And
Mhm.
really, that is just so interesting. It really is
Yeah.
so your life is revolving around this thing, but
Mhm.
the connection was never there.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was
I know
always
you,
weddings and stuff, but
yeah, you
and
obviously
always
photograph other
working.
stuff.
Yep, and always working full time. I just never made that connection. And I kick myself because I'm like, dang it, I should have started sooner, that kind of
Oh,
thing. But
well.
then I have to talk myself out of that.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
really good at talking myself out of any negative. I try any
Good.
negative self-talk. But like, because it's like I wish I would have started sooner, but then it's like, well, if
Right.
I started sooner, then I wouldn't be where I am right now.
This is
Like,
true.
there's a time for everything. That was my time to be like, oh, there's the connection, go shoot
Right.
sports, and then it leads me to all these things. So It was meant to be.
I agree. Is it fair to say sports are one of your main kind of avenues? Do you even want to be labeled as a sports photographer?
Um, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I would love to I mean, I guess I kind of pursue it full I mean, I kinda do it full time just with all
I was gonna
between all the
say,
freelancing that I do, and then, yeah, I still love weddings, I still love all
of
the other
course.
lifestyle sessions just because it's a different change of pace, and
Absolutely.
that will always have my heart, but there's just something so amazing about photographing sports
Yeah,
and the stories that you're able to tell with photographing the action in front of you.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only reason I asked that question is I've heard from other folks that do photograph multiple avenues and scenes in addition to sports is like they want to be known as like a photographer to view themselves as like well rounded. So like I kind of understand both sides of the coin, but what you said
Mhm.
absolutely makes sense too. When you're starting out and kind of building those experiences, did you ever think that you would get to photograph the Lions or, the Detroit Tigers? Like, what was the kind of goal for you, if you had one at
I
all?
There like, the fact that everything played out the way that it did, I'm still in shock over
Sure.
how things played out because, like, it almost felt like it happened overnight, but obviously it
Really?
didn't.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I had no plans of photographing for the Lions, the Tigers, and then eventually the Red Wings. Like that, no, that
Mhm.
never even crossed my mind because I knew that if I was getting into this industry, I knew how competitive it was, and
Right.
I knew that there was no chance in hell, like, and I knew I felt like I told myself I had several years to go in order to get to that level,
Yeah.
so I had already talked myself down from like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna happen," kinda thing, but
Hmm.
I would tell myself, like, spoke it into existence that
Yeah.
I one day will photograph for a professional team. I will photograph for the Lions. I will photograph for the Tigers. I will photograph for the Wings. Like, and I made a TikTok about it, like as I put in
I
my
remember.
video, just manifesting it. Just started shooting my shot and offering, my services to athletes like, hey, like I can give you a gallery if
You
you're
started,
working
like,
out or
DMing them
yep.
and such?
Yep, I just started DMing, emailing. Yeah, I spoke to the team photographer with the Lions, like, I had decided to shoot him an email, and
Wow.
he responded, and I think I about fell over. I started crying and everything else, and I'm like, "There's no way!" We had exchanged messages and everything back and forth, and, yeah, we met for coffee, and
It's incredible.
he reviewed my portfolio while we were, drinking coffee and everything, and it was a good, like, 2.5 hour conversation,
Okay.
where he was
Wow.
answering my questions and going over my photos in detail and like how I
Really?
edit and things like that. Yep. And then, noticing what he liked and what he didn't like and things like that and just giving me honest and transparent feedback.
It's the
Um
best thing you can have.
oh, absolutely. And we'll touch on that. Just
Sure.
keep that up here. Keep
Yeah.
that up here, Dylan. But yeah, so like we just started chatting and we eventually exchanged numbers and yeah, he had just gotten a hold of me, like, a few weeks after we had met, and that was May 25th when we met for coffee,
Okay.
in 2023, and these dates are all so significant to me just 'cause
Yeah.
it's crazy how it unfolded, but, yeah, he reached out to me a few weeks later, and he's like, "Hey, I have a good trial for you, like, let's try this out. Would you mind photographing the Detroit Lions cheer clinic that we have on June" it was, like, June 21st, and,
Okay.
he's like, "I wanna see how you work,
It's the first
I
day of
wanna see
summer.
how you" Right.
It's a good
And
day.
let me tell you, it was not a good day for me, like,
Oh,
leading up. I was
sorry.
so nervous, I was so
Oh,
nervous.
I can imagine.
I got down there, I think 4 hours early because I was so terrified.
4 hours?
4 hours, and I
You're not
sat
hopping on a plane?
I know, but I was
But like I
so
get it.
petrified. I was so terrified. My
Yeah.
anxiety was through the roof. I stopped at Best Buy. I don't even know what Best Buy, the nearest bathroom to throw up. Like
Oh my God, no.
no, I was so bad, Dylan. Like I was worked up
Really?
so much. Like, and I want to do a story time on that just because like it was I was
Oh
terrified. Like
no.
I was terrified. But I went in, did my thing, and I knew I had a lot of learning to do and
Yeah.
but yeah, shortly after that, I joined the photography team as a freelancer. So
So
it's
awesome.
just yeah, everything just unfolded oddly and right, and I don't know. It was it's bizarre still to think about.
I'm sure. I mean, hearing the way you articulate that, I do hear that kind of bewilderment that it
Mhm,
still hasn't set in for you, but knowing that you've been through so much, knowing that you kind of gave up the security of a full-time job, you had been through a divorce at this point, and I'm very curious, like what the kind of emotions were like for you when that kind of set in. I don't know if it was like a, oh, I made it moment, but certainly your hard work had paid off
mhm,
and is still doing so. But
mhm.
for you in that moment, what were you kind of reflecting on?
God, I mean, first off, I was a blubbering idiot when
Same.
I found out that when I was asked to join the photography team as a full season freelancer, and a full season freelancer is every home game.
Yeah,
Um, in the events. And, like, I would help with events, like, prior to that, but,
totally.
so I'd be at every home game and things like that, but I remember when I got that phone call and I was photographing a varsity football game, like, it was a special military
Oh
night.
wow.
So my friend who coached varsity baseball also coached varsity football, so he's like, "Hey, do you mind coming out?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, no big deal." So I remember getting that phone call, and I was on the track, and I sprinted down to the end, and, I got off the phone and I literally started jumping up and down, and like the fence line
Oh.
was all filled with parents and stuff, and I'm sobbing and like jumping up and
Aw.
down, and so yeah, it was just one of those things where it's like I can't believe this is happening. Like I cannot believe that this is happening to me.
Yeah,
Like good things don't happen to me. You know what I mean? Like I've always had that like good things don't happen to me, or if like things get good, like something bad's gonna happen and all the
yeah.
all that vibe. But um
I totally know
yeah,
the
it just
perspective.
yeah, it's and
I
it's
do.
God, it sucks to think like that. And I try not to think like that anymore because like I try to speak good to myself about myself and like
Right.
all the positive things that are happening in my life. And I don't know, it's why it's wild to just kind of look back at it and all the emotions and everything that I felt, and then
Yeah.
attending my first game,
I can
as
only
a
imagine how early you got for that.
I was reasonable this time. I was reasonable this time. I wasn't 4 hours or so early
I
like
mean,
I
look,
was the first one.
some people say they arrive 4 hours before kickoff, or maybe 3 hours.
Well, we have
I don't
to, but
know.
it's I didn't arrive at 5 a.m. Like, well, I'll just put it that way.
Okay, sure.
Um, but as soon as like the lights went down in the stadium and they were starting the intros and stuff, I took a look around and I just started crying because I'm just like,
Oh,
I've got to this point. Like I've
yeah.
made it to this point. Even though I wasn't photographing game action, I was photographing the partnerships and like the LEDs and things like that in the
Hmm.
bowl. I didn't care. I didn't care. I told the team photographer, I said, I will take a picture of a literal trash can just to be here. Like I am
Wow.
and I have always said, and I've started saying it in like my story times on TikTok, like
Sure.
I'm always happy to be here.
Wow.
Like I could be like I said, I could be photographing a trash can or a porta potty. Because at the end of the day, my name on that photo says Stephanie VanWagoner / Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
You know what I
You will
mean?
make
So
that
it's
porta
like
potty look
I
gorgeous.
will make it look wonderful, including the trash can, both of
Yep.
them. But no, the emotions, even still, I make a point to, whatever team it is, I make a point to just kind of stand, look around, be thankful,
Yeah.
like that I'm here and I'm incredibly, incredibly grateful for where I'm at.
I love that so much. I mean, shit, if that doesn't get you to run through a damn wall, I don't know
Let's
what
go.
will.
Right.
Um, I will now challenge my friends to photograph porta potties.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
Do
actually,
it.
I take that back. That's kind of creepy.
Mm,
Make sure
Trash
nobody's in
can.
them first.
Right. Or a trash
Um,
can. Do a
or
trash can.
yeah, trash can safer. Um, yeah, I will challenge them. Corolla Pascal, Andrew John, you have now been challenged to photograph a trash can and make it look good.
Yep.
Make that shit look crispy.
Yep. You've been called out.
Yeah, all of that is, first of all, amazing. The other phrase that you really articulate a lot, throughout your personal story is that you always wanted to bet on yourself.
Mhm.
You've said that many times, like you bet on yourself, and I'm curious how you almost learned to do that. There isn't a playbook, obviously, but for you personally, like what does the phrase like bet on yourself mean to you?
It just mean like it's like I said towards the beginning, like it's me versus me.
Ter-
Nobody's telling me what to do, how to handle things. I have to motivate myself to go do all of these things, with all of the jobs that I have, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I have to stay motivated and I can't burn myself out. But I have to pay my bills.
sure.
I have responsibilities, and it's just
You are an adult.
exactly, adulting is hard, but it's
You
one
better
of those,
believe it.
if I, excuse me, if I don't go off and photograph this wedding, or if I don't take this event, or if I don't go photograph this game, my bills don't get paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm doing it for the money either, but like,
Of course.
that's you got to be responsible. You have to be
Um,
responsible
uh-huh.
in this day and age. But trying to make a name for myself.
Yeah,
And I want to have a good reputation behind that.
totally.
So yeah, that's what I think that's what it means to me. It's the hustle. The hustle is absolutely real, and
Yeah.
it's me against the world, and it's you've got a lot of competition out there too, and you got to find what makes you stand out
Hmm.
from the rest of them. So,
I wish we all knew how to like really bet on ourselves. I feel like,
mhm,
like I said, there is no real playbook to betting on yourself and, speaking things into existence, which you are also great at doing. But it's an interesting perspective to have and ability to be able to do both of those things because
mhm,
I mean, personally with me, like I also have a hard time speaking things into existence. I'll like write it down, but like actually verbalizing it is tough.
yep.
It's
So
a
I will say, and this
Sure.
is the first time I've said this out loud,
Sure.
saying that, like saying what you just did made me think of it. But I was driving back home from a family session up north, and I was listening to Super Bass by Nicki Minaj.
What
Okay,
a throwback.
yep, yep. It came up on
Hell
my
yeah.
shuffle. Yep, yep. It came up on my shuffle. And just the lyrics that stood out to me the most was now I'm drawing an absolute blank, like
I knew you were about to do that.
uh
Oh no.
Start with the skies. I am no longer trying to survive, but to live doesn't mean you're alive, right?
Hmm.
So I was thinking about all of that. Like I'm living, but like, what does it mean to, I don't mean to be like all in depth, but like,
No, please.
I'm living, but like, what does that mean to me? Like,
Yeah.
am I living the life that I want? You know what I mean? Like, so I was thinking,
You
like, I was
do.
listening to that song and I kind of listened to it over and over again. And I was like, I will have this moment. I want this moment for life. And I just kept like I don't know. I was just singing, or not super bass. Moment for Life. God, I'm literally crashing out right now. It's Moment for Life, not super bass. Sorry, everybody. It's Moment for Life. Golly, my millennial heart is so broken right now that I screwed that up. I am disappointed in myself. Okay, so Nicki Minaj, not super bass, everybody. So, but yeah, just like listening to those lyrics, I was just like, I can vibe with it. I can vibe with
Yeah.
it. And it was just things that I kept repeating to myself. And I remember always listening to that song when I competed in a fitness competition back in 2012. Because it was just one of those things where it's like, I wish that I could have this moment for life, for life. Because it was one of those
Yep.
things I was so proud of doing it, and actually accomplished something. I finished
That's sick.
something. And then that kind of came on when I was on my way home from the session up north, and I was just singing it over and over, and I was telling myself I actually turned on the song after that, and I was like, "You will photograph
Damn right.
for the lions, tigers, or wings. You will photograph for the
Mm.
lions, tigers, or wings." And like it just like that song just like got me hype, and
Yeah. That's
yeah,
so
so
cool. I didn't know
yeah.
you did fitness competitions. That's sick.
Yep, yeah, back in the day I did one. It was one and done.
Okay.
One and done. Yep.
Amazing.
Yep.
You know, almost leads me to
Mhm.
actually kind of an interesting question. You have so many pictures of, other people
Mhm.
on your portfolio, on your personal Instagram, on your professional Instagram. There's very few of you. The
Mhm.
one there is one of you where you are photographed. The caption was very interesting to me, which was pressured by your peers. Is there any
Mhm.
deeper meaning to that? And
I
why
don't
maybe you chose that caption?
I don't like being in front of the camera.
Me
Um,
neither.
I hate it. It gives me anxiety. Like
Really?
I prefer candids over like what I was doing. But yeah,
Sure.
that my friends made me take those photos.
Really?
They said, "You're not backing out. We are taking these photos of you." Yep, it was my friend Zach and Lindsay. They're both actually hairstylists.
So cool.
Zach is my hairstylist. Shout out to you, Zachary. But yeah, he's like, "No, baby, you're not backing out of this. We ain't crying this time." Because the first time I had pictures done, I had an absolute breakdown. Like
Really?
I absolute meltdown, cried, anxious, everything. I'm
Can I
just a
ask
girl.
why?
So I'm just a girl. So yep, he's like, "No, you're not backing out of this." And like I was trying to take longer with their branding photos so that way they would kind of like forget that I was gonna get my pictures done at the end. But yeah, so no, it was just, no, you need to put yourself out there. No, you need
Yeah,
to put your face out there. Like, this is you. This is your brand. Like, you're doing
it's
this.
true.
And so, yeah, it was that pressure. And, looking back, like, I'm glad they did it. They made me do it.
Yeah. What were the emotions like the first time you said?
The first time I had pictures done.
Yeah.
Oh, man, as soon as I stepped in front of the camera, I just started shaking and I
Really?
started crying and like I felt my chest tighten.
No kidding.
It was the most bizarre thing, like, I legitimately was starting to have a panic attack.
Wow.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy because, like, I I'm just not big on my picture taken, and I think it's because growing up, I just was self-conscious for so long,
Sure.
and I mean, I was actually attacked by a dog when I was 2.
No
So I have a
kidding.
scar on the side of my face, and then up until 2018, half of my ear was gone.
Because of that
Um,
attack?
what's that?
Because of the
Yeah,
attack?
yes. And I have a
Wow.
scar
I'm
on my arm. So like
so sorry
pictures for
you experienced
me,
that.
oh, I love dogs. Um,
You have to.
yeah, it was I've got two two little rascals. But yeah, it's just yeah, I didn't like my pictures taken. I was self-conscious about it for so long. To the point where like I, would always like cover my scar with my hair or like I'd wear my hair
Wow.
a certain way to cover my ear, and I've never really talked about this publicly, like, anywhere, but it makes me who I am today. I think that's why when it comes to photography, I try to make anyone and everyone feel their best in their most
Yeah.
authentic self. I want everybody to feel beautiful in their own
Of
skin and
course.
in their own way, you know what I mean? So I guess, but for me it's just different because I for
Totally
so
understand.
long I've hidden myself from that, from that aspect. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a little bit of why I do what I do. So
Yeah. And I love it. I really
yeah.
do. So I actually asked this to one other photographer, Jade Hewitt, who I had on the podcast a while ago. And I don't know if you've ever done a photo gallery, but if well, first, have you done a photo gallery before?
A photo gallery?
Yeah, like an
Like a
exhibit.
portfolio?
Yeah,
Oh,
like an
oh,
exhibit.
no. No.
No.
No.
Okay.
That would be
Well,
fun, though.
of course. Well, if and when you do, I'm gonna say when because speaking this into existence, right?
Yes, speak
You
it,
know,
speak it.
you exactly when you eventually do a gallery, what would you hope somebody takes away from you as a person, from looking at the photos that you take?
That you can find beauty in anything, honestly.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
And I'm
there's
not
no
even just talking
yeah,
sports, by the way. I'm just talking like your
in
entire
general.
portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that there's beauty in literally everything.
that's. I don't even think more needs to be said about that.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's true. I mean, even and it comes with, I mean, sports, landscapes,
Yeah,
humans, anything. I mean,
totally.
you can find something beautiful in literally everything that's in front of your camera.
Oh my god, I agree with that so much. Now I'm really interested in. I mean, I've been interested in everything you have to say, but this especially because it is the last question I do always ask everybody.
Mhm.
Stephanie, your photography career aside, your perspectives about photography aside, really you as a person, Stephanie VanWagoner, what do you like most or admire about yourself?
What do I like most about myself?
Or admire about yourself? Yeah,
Oh, that I admire about myself? Why do we have to end with that question, Dylan?
there's a reason.
I don't know what I don't know what I admire most about myself.
There's no wrong
I
answer.
think honestly, I think it's just despite all of my trials and tribulations that I continue to keep going, that no matter how hard I get knocked down, whether it's with a portfolio review, life, anything that I find a way to keep going. I'm gonna try not to cry. But I,
It's incredible.
yeah,
That's a beautiful answer.
I think my work ethic is probably what I admire most is just the will to just keep going.
Well, may we all continue to have it. May
Yep.
we all continue to speak those things into existence.
That's right.
And may we continue to find the beauty in everything.
Yep.
Thank you so much for
Yep,
coming on.
exactly. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.